Thank you for joining us. Let's start with DOMA, the 12-year-old Defense of Marriage Act, recently coming under fire from several points. First, two federal judges in California now saying that employees in their courts are, in fact, despite DOMA, entitled to health benefits for their same-sex partners. What are your thoughts on that, and can that alone really do much?
As much as I dislike that law, I led the fight against it. I don't think it's appropriate to say that the president should pick and choose what laws he defends. On the other hand, I do think this argument that it is unconstitutional for the federal government to pick and choose as to which marriages it will accept is a good one. At some point, that's going to have to go to the United States Supreme Court. I wouldn't want it to go to the United States Supreme Court now because that homophobe Anthony Scalia has got too many votes on this current court.
Well, there is another option here. Representative Tammy Baldwin, as you know, plans to introduce legislation to extend benefits to same-sex partners. It has been tried before. How much support are you seeing this time around in the House?
I am afraid that we don't yet have the votes for that, although I think we have a chance sometime in the next few years of getting health benefits, for example, and other benefits for federal employees.
Okay, the LGBT community not just being affected financially by DOMA, but some say it's being disproportionately affected by the financial crisis in general. You know, some believe workplace discrimination rises during financial hard times. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't see any evidence of it one way or the other, but frankly, I am optimistic with a Democratic president and increased majorities in the House and the Senate that we're going to be able to pass a good anti-discrimination bill that will also include people with transgender.
You know, you are more visible now than ever before because of your position near the center of the storm in Washington. Aside from your direct role in working towards a solution, is there any indirect benefit to the gay community that you're now so much in the spotlight?
I think the fact that I'm able to have this position and be trusted by the president and work with the speaker, and that the fact that I'm openly gay is no hindrance to my playing this role. You know, you wish that wasn't a big deal. You wish we lived in a world in which you could take that for granted. But since we can't, then yeah, I think it is helpful.
Okay. Let's talk about Don't Ask, Don't Tell right now. President Obama has promised to work to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. There was just a major protest in Washington, partially because at least 11 more soldiers were discharged last January, the month that Obama took office. Is a repeal something you think we can see in his first term?
Absolutely. I think there are three pieces of legislation we should be able to get enacted in his first 2 years with this Democratic Congress. One is a transgender inclusive ENDA, because we've done the work. Another, the easiest, we're about to file that bill, a transgender inclusive hate crimes bill. And I believe now that he has come to some agreement with the military, not an agreement because he's in charge, but now that they are not wildly protesting his decision about Iraq, we can move on Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So I think we will have the votes to pass ENDA, to pass hate crimes, and to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
There are still plenty of steps backwards, though, as we know, Proposition 8 passing last November in California. Did you follow the state Supreme Court arguments closely in California?
I did, but let me say this. I wouldn't say that was a step back. That was an inability to take a step forward. I mean, by this, reality beats prejudice. And the more people who are married and the more people know about that, the likely we are to be able to expand it.
Okay, great. Congressman Barney Frank, thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.